Yo, why is it that these news outlets make it their goal to hit us with the worst news possible in order to scare us, and then that's where they leave it? They don't tell us what we need to do about it. So this article circulated yesterday about how the Social Security money is about to be dried up and we're going to be stranded when we're retired. I started out intrigued, but as I read a little bit deeper, I started really sipping. Have you ever noticed in your paycheck how they just take about 6% of what you just made and they give it to this thing called Social Security? Well, that's what we're talking about here. You guys are paying into something that they're talking about possibly being dried up by the time that you're even able to use it. So if it's not around for us when we retire, that's a big deal and that's not cool. But don't you worry, friends. Professor G's got you. Hey everyone, my name's Nolan. My students call me Professor G, and it is my passion helping young people understand personal finance and the ins and outs of starting a business. Let's do this. So real quick, what is Social Security? Social Security is basically just money that the government is going to give people when they retire because they know at retirement age they're not able to work as much or they're not going to work as much, and they've put in all this work for 30 or 40 years, so might as well give them something. Specifically, Social Security is an actual program where at the age of 66 or nowadays 67, Social Security is basically calculated by your 35 highest paying years that you worked and at least 10 years worth of work. And most people basically make somewhere between $2,000 and like $3,500 per month in retirement age as long as they're making 100% of their benefits, which is pretty sweet. You can live off of that pretty well. So yeah, Social Security is an awesome program, but the big news here is that it's going to be drying up by the time that we hit retirement age. The big problem here is that we're still paying into it. We still have to pay 6% or so of our check. So this is just a big problem. That article goes on to say that basically because there's less people being born and because more baby boomers are retiring, there's a whole bunch of people taking the money but not a lot of people putting the money back in. There's basically a couple ways that the Social Security fund gets funded. It's just a bunch of assets, a bunch of money basically that they put together in a fund in case the people that are paying taxes don't cover it, then they can draw from that fund. Well, what's happening is the government is having to use that fund a lot more, and so that's what this article is about. It's depleting that fund. The thing is though, of the two funds, 80% of the Social Security is funded through workers and 20% is funded through that reserve fund. So if that reserve fund dries up, that 20% goes away, not the whole thing. So my professional opinion is twofold. Number one, chill. It's going to be okay. And the reason why it's going to be okay is because of number two. You guys have been learning about your finances and understanding that we probably shouldn't be giving 100% of our retirement up to the government. You should be working on your retirement account yourself. You should be investing in multiple brokerages. You should have different types of investments. And these are things that I go over in all my different videos. So when you're done here, go watch the rest of those, because that's what's going to really deep dive into that. For this video, I really just wanted to focus on making sure that you guys understand the difference between what the media is telling you and what we can actually do about it. So as long as you guys get out ahead of it and you start investing today and you start really taking advantage of compound interest, by the time you hit that retirement age, if we're only able to get that 80% rather than the full 100%, cool, that's just extra money at that point. Hopefully that's just a little bit of money compared to how much money you have in your retirement account and other brokerage accounts and all the investment properties that you'll have and all the other things that we talk about on this channel. With things like this though, where Social Security is not possibly going to be an option for us later on, or at least not all of it, we do need to take it a little more seriously about our investing and investing correctly and investing early and often. You don't want to be surprised. Say right now you're almost at retirement age and then you start to hear that something might dry up by the time that you're retired and you haven't been investing. That's when I would freak out a little bit. For those of you that are in college or young adults, this is a perfect time to just have a wake-up call, understand that this is happening, but there is a way to fight it and there is a way to prepare for it. So keep watching my videos and let's just keep our head up and keep going. That's all I got for you today. Professor G, out.